smoking ceremony that you've just been a part of. In our language of fire, we call it a karl, and the smoke, we call it a gear. These leaves that we use, it come from a red gum tree. The gum that you use from the tree, it can be made into a drink. And if you feel sick on the inside, you have a drink and it makes it all better. And with the leaves, if you boil the leaves up, you can bathe yourself in water, in the warm water with the leaves. If there's any healing that needs to be done on your skin, any sore, any scar, that'll get rid of it very quick. But the significance of the smoke that comes from these leaves is that no matter what we go through in life, if we sit near a fire and with the smoke from these leaves, the smoke will begin to saturate inside to help bring healing to our spirit. If you feel down, if you feel upset, if life is getting you down, the smoke, it represents and brings healing to you personally for what is going on inside. And I feel honoured to know this about my culture because it is important to share to everybody and helps bring healing to everybody as well. So I want to thank you for participating in walking through the smoke.
Thank you very much. Let's continue and have a seat. For those who have a seat, please the ushers help people to sit.
Twakwicara, abantu badufasha kugira ngo abantu babashe kwicara.
Noneho n'abandi duhagarara inyuma mu gihe ufite umwana ukiri mutoya wicare. Abandi mukomeze inyuma gutya.
You're welcome to walk around.
Mubazenguruke.
Just surround the place.
Mukomeze rwose mutambuke.
Please continue, just keep going around.
The youth.
Urubyiruko.
Please go this side.
Mukomeze kuri uru ruhande.
The next agenda is a welcome to country.
Tugiye kwakira kuri ubu butaka duteraniyeho.
Hello everybody, Kaya.
Kaya, ndabasuhuje.
My name is Reverend Mitchell Garlett.
It's Reverend Mitchell Garlett.
I'm a proud Wajak Belladong man of the Nyunga Nation.
Ndi umugabo wo mu Wajak Nyunga Nation.
For me, as a young Nyunga man,
Umusore wo mu Nyunga man.
It's an honor and a privilege to know my language.
Ni iby'agaciro kubasha kuvuga ururimi rwanjye.
My language helped me know my identity of who I am and where I belong.
Ururimi rwanjye runshoboza kumenya uwo ndi we n'aho nkomoka.
It helped me with the connection that indigenous people have with the land.
Biramfasha gusobanukirwa connection dufite nk'abantu babasanga ubutaka bahangaha n'ubutaka bwaha.
It is a connection that runs deeper than the cement that gets poured into this land.
Ni connection irenze isima bashyira muri ubu butaka.
I want to pay respect to my elders, both past and present.
Nduwa abatubanjirije n'abariho ngubu abakuru bacu bakurambere.
For the struggle and the perseverance of being able to hold on to our culture and language to this day.
Kubwo kwihangana bagize bagakomeza umuco wacu n'ururimi rwacu kugeza uyu munsi wa none.
I'm wanting to pay respect to my non-indigenous elders, both past and present.
Ndakira abakurambere bacu atari abasanga ubutaka bacu bari indigenous batari na indigenous ari ababanje nabo ngubu.
For our elders that still walk beside us today.
Abakurambere bacu bakomeje kugendana natwe umunsi wa none.
Because if it wasn't for our elders, we would not be where we are today on this journey that we're on
yataba ku bwabo ntabwo twari ko turanga umunsi wa none ku rugendo turimo
in help making this world a better place for everybody.
kugira ngo twubake isi kugira ngo ibe heza ku bwa buri muntu wese waturiye.
In language,
mu rurimi
I want to say kaya mamanichi year nyining anyunga boyja.
ndabakira
Ngan maman na wolo nyining an wanging a mur kinyan ngan court banging an boyja. Ngan maman wanging yung amurn ngan dapukan ngan wurkulin ngan banging an boyja ngan court kinyan. Ngan daman gaman gawir and kada wurkulin. Ngan wodbil amur ngan yuwat kul ngan kura kura. Ngan wording ngan yuwat kul ngan yung boyja. Wodbil amur ngan kulunga ngan dapukan ngan wurkulin. Ngan yung amur ngan boyja ngan wabin. Ngan wodbil amur yung amur ngan dapukan ngan wurkulin kadajin ngan dwonk ngan quirt ngan barangin. Ngan quirt ngan jurub jurub. Ngan quirt ngan jurub jurub ngan nunukut ngan yuarkul. Ngan quirt ngan jurub jurub ngan maman ngan wolo nyining ngan wanging ngan murt kinyan ngan kadajin ngan wodbil amur kinyan ngan boyja. And in English that says that a long time ago our creator, our God,
mu cyongereza baravuze ngo umuremyi wacu igihe cyashize cya kera
he allowed the dark-skinned people to look after this land.
yemeye ko abantu bafite uruhu rwirabura bareba buno butaka bakaburebera.
He said, if you look after this land, in return, it'll look after you.
aho umuremyi aravuga ati nimubwitaho ubu butaka nabwo buzabitaho.
And Daman is our old people, our ancestors,
abatubanjirije abasaza batubanjirije
who have been able to help us on our journey for today.
badufashije muri uru rugendo rw'uyu munsi turimo.
And what bilamur gan you are calling and kura kura and a wedding and you are calling and dapukan and wort calling and kalakmoang and yunga boyja. Is that our friends come from a long way across the water?
kandi inshuti zacu zapfuye kure y'inyanja.
They come here and made a home on this old land of the Nyunga people.
baraje batura kuri ubu butaka bw'abanyunga people.
They brought their families, their children.
bazana imiryango n'abana.
Ngan Nyunga murt, wajbula murt, ngan wabin, ngan boyja, ngan dapukan, ngan wurtkulin says that for us as first and second peoples, we work and play together upon this land.
biravuga rero ngo abantu ba mbere n'aba kabiri twarafatanyije kugira ngo twubake ubutaka.
And as we continue to journey together as a family, as a community that calls this place home,
dukomeza twese twiyubaka nk'abantu nk'imiryango bita ahantu mu rugo,
we have to continue to listen to one another.
tugomba kumeza kumvana.
And Karajin and Dwonk and Quirt Barringin says to listen not only with our ears but with our hearts
atari ukumvisha amatwi gusa ahubwo n'imitima yacu
for a better journey for us for tomorrow.
kugira ngo urugendo rw'ejo ruzabe rwiza.
Ngan Quirt, ngan Jurub Jurub, ngan Nunukut, ngan Yuart Kul, ngan Boyja, ngan Yunga Boyja. That says that my heart, Quirt is your heart, said that my heart is happy that we've gathered here in this place today.
bikavuga ngo umutima wanjye unejejwe nuko duteraniye hano hantu uyu munsi wa none,
As we remember those who have gone on before us.
twibuka abatubanjirije.
Ngan Kaya Kaya, ngan Wanju. Welcome and thank you.
kaya kaya n'ikaze kandi murakoze.
Thank you. Once again, thank you.
Murakoze cyane.
Welcome to the 1994 Genocide Memorial.
Turabakiye kuri uku kwibuka kwa Genocide.
Today is the unveiling of the 1994 Genocide against the Tutsi Memorial in Western Australia,
umunsi tuje kureba urwibutso twibuka jenoside yakorewe abatutsi muri 1994 hano muri Australia,
and particularly in Stirling Civic Gardens.
cyane cyane by'umwihariko duteraniye aha ngaha muri City of Stirling Civic Gardens.
Before we start,
Mbere yuko dutangira
I would like to go through some housekeeping.
hari ibyo nshaka kubagezaho.
If you want to use the toilets,
Nifuza
just,
kujya mu bwiherero
just behind there.
urakomeza hari inyuma.
And I also want to go through the vocabulary that is allowed to use when we talk about the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi.
kandi ashaka kubibutsa imvugo nyayo tugomba gukoresha iyo twibuka jenoside yakorewe abatutsi.
Some vocabulary is not recognized by United Nations,
Harimo imvugo itemerwa na United Nations,
UNESCO, the Rwandan Republic,
Rwandan Republic,
and the survivors in particular.
no kuvuga ngo abarokotse gusa,
Because
kuko
some of the terms people may use make people feeling uncomfortable.
hari imvugo umuntu yakoresha igatuma undi atiyumva neza.
To be simple,
Kugira ngo byorohe
we call it the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda.
tuvuga ngo jenoside yakorewe abatutsi muri 1994 mu Rwanda.
We don't do or we don't say such a thing like Rwandan genocide
Ntabwo tuvuga ngo jenoside y'abanyarwanda
because it's confusing,
kuko ntabwo abantu babyumva,
and I won't go through why is it confusing today. It's not what we're here for.
kandi ndabasobanurira impamvu atari yo mvugo nyayo.
And another thing I want to remind you guys,
icya kabiri mbibutsa,
when we do commemorate the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi,
iyo twibuka jenoside yakorewe abatutsi mu 1994,
same as we mourn our loved one,
nk'uko twibuka abacu dukunda
in our traditional Rwandan tradition,
mu muco wa kinyarwanda,
we don't clap our hands.
ntabwo dukoma amashyi.
Can be a very good speech.
Umuntu ashobora kugira ijambo atambutsa hano,
Uko yaba imeze kose,
no matter the speech spoken here,
ntabwo dukoma amashyi.
we don't clap hands.
Atari uko tutishimiye ibyo umuntu avuze,
Not that we don't honor what has been spoken in a speech,
ariko ni wo muco wacu.
but it's our culture.
Iyo ubabaye ntukoma mu mashyi.
When you're sad, you don't clap.
N'ubu uyu munsi rero niko biri bugende.
And that's the way we're going to move forward today.
Keretse ubundi bubihere uruhushya,
Unless I do permit you,
kandi urwo ruhushya kenshi sinkunze kurutanga.
and it's not likely
Ubundi
to
buruhe
happen.
biraba ari bidasanzwe.
If I do permit it, it's going to be a special
The
exemption.
last thing I want to remind you,
Cyanyuma mbibutsa,
niyo kubera umuhango wari umuhango ukomeye,
because this is a special occasion that we're
umuhango
at,
uzamura amarangamutima,
brings out a lot of emotions.
ushobora kumva ibivugwa
You may hear what is spoken,
haba hano
Whether
cyangwa n'ahandi
here-
turi bugiye kwibukira,
or the second part where we're going to go to,
ukumva intimbira kujyanye,
and you may go deep in emotions.
bikagutwara hahandi
You may go far right in that moment,
hacyagihe.
right in the moment.
Ndabinginze rero
I ask you,
urebe mugenzi wawe uri iruhande rwawe,
look at the person sitting close to you.
look around, hari abantu bambaye imyenda itukura,
There's people wearing red outfits around here.
they are the Red Cross.
They're from the Red
They're
Cross.
very well trained
Barategujwe,
mental health assistant.
bashobora gufasha umuntu
If you
wahungabanye.
need help,
Ukeneye ubufasha,
please see them.
ubegere.
If your neighbor need help as well,
Umuntu ukwegeye nakenera
Please.
ubufasha,
ntago biteye isoni cyangwa ikimwaro
it is not of shame if you need help
kwegera umuntu wabyigiye
to come close to somebody who's got the expertise
akabigufashamo.
to assist you.
Murakoze rero,
Thank you.
mwakoze kwitabira uno muhango.
Thank you for joining us today.
Mu kanya turi buze kubakira umwe ku wundi.
We're going to welcome you shortly, one by one.
hagati aho ariko
But in the meantime,
Sylvia,
Sylvia,
what does that mean, having a Kwibuka Memorial right here in the city of Stirling,
ese kwibuka
Stirling Garden?
ese kwibuka bivuze iki ahangaha duteraniye muri City of Stirling Garden?
Tubwire bikubwiye iki?
I will tell you a little bit about what it means gathering here today and having this memorial. The Kwibuka Memorial in the city, in the Stirling Civic Gardens, Western Australia, stands as a tribute to the victims and a beacon of hope for survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. More than a mere monument, it serves as a sanctuary for remembrance, healing, and enlightenment. The memorial welcomes and embraces all who visit in fostering solidarity and strengthening community bonds and embodying a solemn pledge to never again allow such atrocities to reoccur. By honoring the lives lost and standing together in solidarity, the memorial reflects the city's commitment to inclusivity and serves as a vital education tool, imparting lessons on the grave consequences of hatred, exclusion, and discrimination for future generations. That is what it means today to have this memorial here.
Thank you, Sylvia. I will call upon Rosamine.
Turakira Rosamine,
Please come forward and acknowledge our distinguished guests.
kugira ngo twakirire abashyitsi bacu
Ndabizi ugira
bakuru bari
isoni
hano.
ariko tambuka.
I know she is shy at times, but we're going to have her in this moment welcome the guests.
Abasetse ngira ngo ntago babyizeye. Kira microphone.
Good morning.
Mwaramutse.
I am shy, so I'm going to get Sylvie to help me with this.
Nibyo ngira isoni, ndasaba Sylvie kamfasha.
Today it is a day that we are marking in history.
Uyu ni umunsi udasanzwe mu mateka yacu.
I am not going to steal the limelight for the speakers because they will tell us what it's about.
Ntabwo ndi bufate umwanya w'abaza kutugezaho ijambo kuko hari abaza kutuganizaho cyane.
But we are very grateful for your presence.
Ariko turabashima cyane kubw'umwanya wanyu.
His Excellency High Commissioner Jean de Dieu, welcome.
His Excellency High Commissioner Jean de Dieu turakwakiye.
His Worship Mayor Mark Irwin of Stirling, you're going to tell us what this is all about. Welcome.
His Worship Mayor Mark Irwin wo muri City of Stirling nawe turamwakiye cyane kandi aza kutugezaho n'ijambo impamvu duteraniye aha.
We have several councillors here with us today.
Dufite aba councillors bateraniye natwe aha ngaha uyu munsi wa none.
Councillor Andrea Credo, Councillor Elizabeth Ree, Councillor Michael Dudrek, Councillor Stephanie Proud, Councillor Damien Goodrich. And this journey, we really worked with the city staff members. So it goes without saying, welcome Director Mick, Chris, Eva, Viv. We are very honored that you are able to come. Honorable Dr. Anne Ali, this is the first time that you've been here with us, and I bet it's not the last. Our sister, Honorable Ayoma Kuchot, it's always great to have you with us. Meredith, you are representing the Premier today. Welcome. James, Director of the Office of Multicultural Interest. We have Home Affairs Representative, our dearest leader, Dr. Castinyaga, who's the President of the Organization of African Communities. We have several university representatives here today. We have representative from Curtin University. We have representative from the University of Western Australia. We do have representative from Notre Dame as well, so welcome. Chris, our sister from Edmund Rice, it's always great to have you with us. It goes without saying that our brother Emmanuel, Don Emmanuel's always with us. But also we do have Superintendent Sharon Bird, Sunny, and Dr. Umnia. Welcome. Our community leaders, we've got so many representing the different countries. It is great that we stand in solidarity this morning. We do also have representative from the Embrace Mental Health Project. So we will have a booklet there and we can tell you all about what the booklet is about. But at the end, do pick that booklet, and Embrace Mental Health practitioners that work with us were able to put it together. Last but not least, our elders. Murakoze cyane kuba muri hano, and the Rwandan community. So without further ado, Maurice, what are we doing next?
I will tell you in a minute.
ndababwira igikurikira.
Mbere yuko dukomeza
Before we continue,
ndagira ngo kandi nshimire umuvandimwe wacu Vivense
I would like to thank our friend
kuva Sydney
from Sydney
akaba yaje kwifatanya natwe.
who's come here and joined us today.
Urakoze cyane.
Thank you.
Niba hari undi kandi wavuye impande n'impande,
And everybody who has come from different areas
Melbourne,
and places, Melbourne,
Canberra,
Queensland,
in Queensland,
Hobart.
ntabwo ndimo mbareba neza ariko feel welcome.
Turabakiye, and those also from New Zealand, you're welcome.
Now, the next, as the word you said, it's the actual unveiling of the Kwibuka Memorial.
Tugiye gutaha runo rwibutso.
Uru rwibutso kuruvuga ibintu bikomeye.
It means so much and signifies a lot.
Ariko City of Stirling irabizi neza.
City of Stirling understands this journey very much.
Neza cyane.
Very much.
Ukuntu mwadufashije.
The way you supported us.
None bikaba bigeze ku munsi wanyu.
And finally, we are at this day here today.
N'urwibutso rw'akababaro.
It's a memorial of sadness,
ariko ruradushimishije.
but it's of joy to us to have here.
Ruradushimishije cyane.
We are honored and happy
kuba ari urwibutso rwa mbere muri iki gihugu.
to have the first memorial in Australia, in this nation,
In the entire region.
in the entire nation.
And indeed,
Kandi koko,
to be unveiled
gutaha runo
in
rwibutso
the city of Stirling.
hano muri City of Stirling
Such a privilege.
ni iby'icyubahiro cyane,
Such a good leadership
ni ubuyobozi bwiza cyane
that shows commitment.
byerekana kwifatanya natwe.
What they say,
Ibyo bavuze
it's actually what they do.
nibyo bakoze.
No matter the journey,
Niyo urugendo rwaba rurerure,
it's now life
uyu munsi turi kubibamo imamo
and happening.
kandi biri kuba.
I thank everybody
Ndashimira buri muntu
who took part,
wafatanyije natwe,
played a role
wagize icyo akora
in this very, very, very honorable, an honorable moment.
muri uyu mwanya tubabaye,
This normal and noble Kwibuka Memorial.
muri uyu mwanya turi kwibuka dutaha n'uru rwibutso.
Rero dutangire igikorwa cyacu.
We're going to proceed in this next session.
Rosemary urafasha abashyitsi kuza.
Rosemary is going to guide us, honorable guests.
Abari buze kurudufungurira ndabahamagara n'abantu bane.
We're going to call forward 4 honorable guests to assist us unveil this
And Rosemary
memorial.
akunze uko bugenda.
And Rosemary is going to guide us through as to how this is going to proceed.
They'll be led by His Worship, the Mayor of City of Stirling,
Turafashwa na His Worship, Mayor, City of Stirling,
and His Excellency, the Ambassador of Rwanda in Singapore and Australia and New Zealand,
His Excellency of Rwanda, Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore.
and Meredith, who's representing the Premier of Western Australia,
Honorable Meredith, uhagarariye Premier wa Western Australia,
na Perezida wa RCA Perth,
na
Kalisa.
President uhagarariye RCA Perth, Kalisa.
Mwigire hino,
Turabakira kugira ngo begere imbere.
noneho Rosemary abereke inzira munyuramo.
Rosemary will show them the way forward.
2 people on this side
We'll ask for 2 people on each side
and 2 people on the other side
and 2 people on the other side.
as we come close to the great moment,
Tugeze muri uyu mwanya
the unveiling of our Kwibuka Memorial.
dutaha runo rwibutso rwacu rwo kwibuka.
Hakurikijeho umuhango wo gushyira indabyo ku rwibutso.
The next part is to put some flowers on this memorial.
Minister Dr. Anne,
Minister Honorable Dr. Anne,
Honorable Ayor,
Honorable Ayo,
and with the Meredith,
with Meredith,
hagire n'undi uhereza ambassador
and one person will pass a flower to the ambassador.
and the Mayor Mark Erwin. Please grab your flowers.
And Mayor Elwin, you're welcome as well to lay flowers at the memorial.
And Carissa Ernest.
And the president of the RCA, Carissa, will also lay flowers at the memorial.
As you finish, please have a seat.
Barangiza turabasaba kongera kwicara mu byicaro byabo.
Please have your seat. I'll call upon Linda.
Tugiye kwakira Linda.
Linda is the Vice President of RCA Perth.
Linda ni Vice President wa RCA Perth.
Uru rugendo araruzi cyane.
She knows this journey very well.
Please have your speed.
Murakoze.
Thank you very much.
I'll be reading from my phone, so apologies. Good evening, esteemed guests. Mwiriwe, banyita Irizarinda, murakoze kumpa ijambo. Today we stand on the precipice of history as we gather to unveil a monument that stands the test of time. His Excellency Jean de Dieu Wihanganye, Ms. Meredith Hamat MLA, Honorable Dr. Anne Ali, Mayor Mark Irwin, I see Dr. Casti as well from OAC, and cherished community members, I'm honored to address you all. This memorial is 3 years in the making and it represents countless of hours of dedication, perseverance, many Zoom meetings, and an unwavering commitment. It stands as a symbol of resilience in the face of the unimaginable tragedy of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. For those who never had the privilege of laying their loved ones to rest, may this be a sacred space that you can find comfort and peace, And for all of us, may it serve as a reminder of our collective responsibility to uphold the sanctity of life and strive for a world where such atrocities never occur again. As we are unveiling today, let us also unveil a commitment to education, to commemorating, and to ensure that echoes of histories are never silenced. And in closing, I would like to share a very quick poem. So here goes nothing. On remembering the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, the weight of brutal killings and the wailing of mothers is as powerful as the strongest currents these oceans can offer. An ocean that eats and drowns you can never spit you back out. A drowning and inability to breathe. Histories of genocides, histories of systems that disqualify us from humanness, an inability to keep an airway clear when poisoned by anti-human propaganda. Histories of violence are all connected. Bury the trickery of thinking otherwise. On the quietness remembering requires, the softness a tongue familiar with Kinyarwanda carries when speaking of a brother, your brother whose face becomes blurry every year due to your failing memory. The tight aches of not knowing your people's names, the tight aches of seeing death televised, racialized, theorized, justified on your screens, your conscious 30 years on, 56 years on, 76 years on, 140 years on, 236 years on, 300 years on. Thank you. Just that top one. The particular urgency Earth is calling for. A drowning, a submerging of your lungs. Histories of genocides are histories of mangled roots of destruction we must investigate. As we reflect, as we remember, as we ache, as we struggle with our lungs, as we memorialize, as we say never again to genocide anywhere in the world, ejo, today, tomorrow, and always, let us commit to being human as praxis, as practice, as principle, as proverb, as gospel, as Mecca, as reality, as future. Murakoze.
Thank you. Mu magambo make mu kinyarwanda ibyo avuze muri iki cyongereza cyihuta cyane aravuze ngo urwibutso nk'uru ruzafasha abantu abenshi muri twe tutazi aho abacu bari. Bamwe dukeka ko bari mu nzuzi, abandi dukeka ko bari aho ngaho hose kuko ababisha ntibigeze ni gakeya cyane baturangira aho babashyize. And there is some of us we don't know where our parents, our relatives are. They're probably around this area in the city of Stirling, watching on us. And this beautiful memorial will give us an opportunity to come and grieve and continue grieving as we heal our wound. Murakoze cyane.
Thank you very much. Was translating the poem that Linda's just read for those who don't understand.
Now I'll call upon His Worship, the Mayor of the City of Stirling, to come and deliver his remarks.
Tugiye kwakira His Worship, the Mayor, the City of Stirling, Mayor Elwen, kugira ngo aze agire ijambo nawe atugezaho. Murakoze.
Thank you, Maurice. I'll start with some acknowledgements. I do acknowledge President Rosamine and Vice President Linda, to Dr. Anne Ali, to Ayor, to Meredith, representing state and federal government, good friends of the City of Stirling, and I know good friends of our Rwandan community. I'd also like to now just get the councillors to stand up. I think this is important. So the councillors of the City of Stirling to stand up. Just turn around. No clapping. But thanks, guys. And I want to acknowledge them because it was through their brave decision-making and leadership that this memorial is here today. And I think that's important. It's been a journey for the City of Stirling, and it's something that is probably one of my proudest moments of Mayor of the City of Stirling, and it's something I know that all of our councillors can be extremely proud of going forward in our community. You often hear me when I'm out in the community talking about our diverse community and about inclusivity, and I think being inclusive is more than just the words. It's about understanding the differences in our vast community and where they've come from and the journeys they have taken as well. When I first became mayor 6 years ago, I remember one of my first events was attending a Rwandan Kwibuka out at Kwibuka. And I've got to say, it was probably one of the most jolting experiences of my life, watching stuff played on TV that I would never imagine happen in our world. And I remember going home after that. It was quite an emotional day. And I remember going home and talking to my wife about this tragedy, this tragic event that happened in 1994 in another part of the world that a young lad from Scarborough otherwise wouldn't have known about. And we reflected on our life in 1994, and I'm sure there's many people with a similar story to me, but that's when myself and my wife started dating. It was one of the happiest times of our life here in sunny Perth. And you think this atrocity is happening in another part of the world. So for us to then, I think for me, it was a partnership with Rwanda, the community, and Rwandan community, the RCA, reached out to the City of Stirling and came into my office, and we had meetings. And from that, we did form a relationship. Going back a couple of years now, it was about 2018, 2019, down in North Beach for another event when Maurice bravely stood up in front of the whole of his community and the City of Stirling community and shared some of the experiences. And Maurice, that was probably the start of what we see today. It was a moment, and I'm sure you remember it, when Maurice bravely talked about his experience in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis in Rwanda. And it was an emotional experience. And I remember because I was meant to be home for dinner that night, and I'm texting under the table saying, I don't think I'm going to make it, because Maurice came and shared his dinner with me. And he asked me for a commitment that night, and the commitment was asked for 1 square metre in the City of Stirling, so that the Rwandans who live in Perth and indeed in Australia have somewhere that they can remember their experience of 1994. They can remember and pay tribute to their families and those fallen in Rwanda. And that journey, it's been persistence, Maurice. It's been persistence from you, Rosamine, and your community, the wider community who I acknowledge here. And it led to a council meeting recently, and that's why I acknowledge the councillors here. It was a brave decision, and even braver was Linda coming along to share her experience and talking to council about what it meant. And in some ways, I think educating our council on what can happen in other parts of the world. So I don't want to bore you with the history and the details of why we're here, but it is something that is so important in the City of Stirling. When I talk at multicultural communities about how we celebrate our diverse community, how we celebrate language and culture and dance and food, what we've also got to remember is that we've got to commemorate other things that have happened in the world and understand that many of our community haven't necessarily chosen to live in Australia. They've been displaced from their communities in order to find a safer place to live. So again, I can only say how proud I am as Mayor of the City of Stirling, proud of the council, proud of our team who've worked with the Rwandans to get to this stage. Maurice, you have your 1 square metre. I congratulate the Rwandan community for the work you've done on this memorial. It is honestly one of the most beautiful things, and it really does pay tribute to the relatives and those Rwandans who aren't here today. I hope it also serves not just as a place for Rwandans to come and remember, but a place our wider community can not only come and remember and reflect, but also to educate and find out and investigate what did happen and then understand. And I think it gives us all a better understanding of the people we live with. So on behalf of the councillors of the City of Stirling and our community, to all the Rwandans here, you are loved and you are welcomed and embraced by the City of Stirling. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Urakoze cyane.
Nagira ngo nsabe Sylvia aka kana ka interprete neza
Nasaba Sylvie kugira ngo to translate this well.
kukamvuye ku mutima.
It's touched my heart.
The mayor
Mayor
mureba hano
that you see here,
yagize urukundo rukomeye ku Banyarwanda.
he had great love for the Rwandans.
ndagira ngo mbabwire muri za meeting zose
In all the meetings we had with him,
yashyiragamo the conflict of interest.
there was a bit of conflict.
No. In the voting, actually not voting because he has a conflict of interest.
Hagiyemo conflict, ntabwo twavuga ko hano batoye.
Arimo arabisobanura nawe Sylvia,
On
reka
purpose.
mbyivugire. Igihe twabaga dutora
When we were voting
for the resolution,
for a resolution to have this memorial,
ntabwo we ijwi rye ryabarwaga.
his voice could not be counted
Kubera ko yaravugaga ati nibibarwa
because he said if it's counted,
biraba ari unfair.
he may be biased if he's also
Kubera ko aba bantu
electing
namaze kubagira abanjye.
because he's serving this community and he's associated with them.
Ako kantu kankoze ku mutima.
So he stood aside and allowed council to look at this, but all this process touched my
Ikindi
heart.
cyankoze ku mutima cyane ndagira ngo abakansala babyumve.
And I also want the councillors to understand this. This touched my heart also.
How you make decisions.
Uburyo mufata ibyemezo.
Muradiscussinga.
You discuss those decisions you want to make.
It's live.
It's open to the community.
And then you make a decision.
Mugafata icyemezo.
That's why
Niyo mpamvu
for countries who have had genocide,
ibihugu byagize jenoside,
genocide can happen
jenoside
when there's no tolerance.
ntabwo ishobora kubaho bitemewe.
In a society where there's no tolerance,
Ahantu abantu batuye
genocide can happen.
bakabyanga bakayirwanya ntabwo ishobora
So muri
kugerwaho.
city of Stirling rero
Ahangaha muri iyi city of Stirling,
ibyemezo byafatwaga in a majority.
they took decisions by majority.
For those who were against,
Ari abatarabishyigikiye
in the end, they embraced the decision because it's a democratic
nabo
decision.
bakiye icyo cyemezo kuko cyafashwe hamwe kandi bitowe.
I would like to say that I've learned very much.
Nize byinshi
The maturity,
mu buryo mwabikozemo,
the leadership,
ubuyobozi bwanyu,
the tolerance,
kwihangana
and the
kwanyu,
decision making.
no gufata ibyemezo
Helped
kwanyu
me to grow as a person
byaramfashe gukura nk'umuntu
and the Rwandans as well.
kandi nk'umunyarwanda.
The next item to agenda
Gukomeza kuri gahunda yacu uyu
is to
munsi,
welcome the representative of the Premier of Western Australia,
turakira umuntu wahagarariye Premier wa Western Australia,
Honorable Meredith.
Honorable Meredith.
Please come forward.
Nikaze kutugezaho ijambo.
Thank you.
Murakoze cyane.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is a great honour to be here. I wanted to begin my comments today by also acknowledging the traditional owners of the land where we gather and meet, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. There are many dignitaries with us today. I won't acknowledge all again, but can I acknowledge you, Your Excellency? It's wonderful to have you with us. To my parliamentary colleagues, Dr. Anna Lee, the Federal Member for Cowan, to my sister in the WA Parliament, the Honourable Ao Makua Chawat, Mayor Mark Irwin, thank you for your work, and all the councillors that are here today. And can I also acknowledge James Jegasophy, who joins us today from the Office of Multicultural Interests. But particularly can I acknowledge the Rwandan community, and thank you for your dedication to achieving this memorial that we gather today to open and recognise. It is a great pleasure to be here on such an important occasion, and I am today representing both the Premier, the Honourable Roger Cook, and also Dr. Tony Booty, the Minister for Citizenship and Multicultural Interests, who were unfortunately unable to be here. But they have asked me to pass on to you their thoughts and best wishes on this important day, marking the 30th anniversary of the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. Today, I know, will be a day of mixed emotions for many. It is a day to celebrate the achievement of this memorial, which the Rwandan community has wanted for so many years, and quite rightly. And you should be enormously proud of the work that you have done to achieve this lasting reminder of the events of 1994. But it is always, when we gather to commemorate the events of 1994, the genocide against the Tutsi, it is always a very sad and difficult day, because I know for your community, when you gather, you reflect on events that happened only 30 years ago. In fact, an incredibly short time ago, and that the impact of those events lives on in your families, in your communities, and remains very much at the forefront of your mind. I'm someone who believes in the adage that those who don't learn from history are destined to repeat it. And so I do want to thank and acknowledge the work of the Rwandan community and the City of Stirling in bringing this memorial to life. It serves not just as a reminder of those terrible events in 1994, it serves not just as a place for the Rwandan community to come and to grieve and to heal, but it is something for all of us to learn from and to reflect on, and to ensure that we commit ourselves to not allowing a genocide to happen again. And I think, Mayor, you captured it quite well in your comments, that 30 years ago is for many of us, that was in our lifetimes. And yet for many people here in Western Australia, they wouldn't know the events of what occurred in Rwanda at that time. That it's not something they learnt about at the time, or it's not something they've learned since. And so it is important that your community continues to come together to commemorate the events of 1994, to gather at this memorial and to tell the story of the many hundreds of thousands of people who lost their life at that time, to tell the story of those who were forced to flee, to tell the story of the impact that that has had and continues to have. Because without your commitment to telling that story and commemorating those events, the rest of the community may never learn. And I think that would be a terrible, terrible outcome. That we must remember history, we must learn from history, and we must commit to never again allow for those kinds of events to happen. So today I wanted to thank the Rwandan community for your resilience, for all that you contribute to Western Australia, for your passion in seeing this project delivered, but your ongoing commitment to commemorating the events of 1994. I want to thank you for the dignity and the compassion that you bring to what are shocking events. And I do want to thank again the City of Stirling for their commitment to seeing this memorial unveiled here as a lasting legacy to your community, but as a lasting reminder to all of us that we must never allow for the community to descend into hate and genocide again. And the words on the memorial are important. They are remember, unite, and renew. And I think that is a powerful and important message. That with this memorial, we will remember those events. But importantly, the purpose of that memory is to unite the community, to unite the Rwandan community, to unite all of the community in our commitment, and to renew our hope, to renew our spirit, and to go forth in a way where we have hope and optimism for the future. So on behalf of Premier Cook and Minister Booty, I really want to thank the Rwandan community here in Western Australia for your incredible work, for your passion and commitment, for bringing this memorial to life, and for the work that you do every day in our community. This is an important place for memory, for reflection, for generations to come, and I thank you for the opportunity to join you today.
Urakoze cyane.
Thank you very much
Amagambo meza
for the words, good words shared with us,
aryoshye arimo inyigisho
with a lot of lessons in the
kandi
words
arimo n'icyizere.
and with a lot of hope in those words.
As we about to finish,
Tugiye ku musozo,
you may think, where did we get this beautiful idea
ushobora kubaza iki gitekerezo
to the
cyiza
memorial?
cy'urwibutso
Carol
cyavuye
and
he?
your friends
Carol
Please come
n'inshuti ze.
forward. I won't give you a speech, but I want people to know you.
Ntabwo tubaha umwanya wo kuvuga ariko turashaka ko abantu babamenya.
Aba ngaba nibo badufashije.
They helped us so much.
Twabahaye ideas,
We gave them ideas that we had,
and they came up with this beautiful creature.
and they created this design that you see here today.
Mwarakoze cyane.
Thank you very much.
Twarabashimiye.
We thank you.
Mwaratwihanganiye.
You were patient with us.
Byafashe umwanya muremure.
It was a long process.
Policies,
Through the policies we had to go through,
procedures,
the procedures that were required,
hazamo na COVID.
and COVID happened. You're
Murabyihanganira.
still patient with that.
None igikorwa mwadufashije ngiki kirahari.
And finally, this journey has occurred
Mufite umwanya
and
munini
been
mu mutima
completed.
wacu.
You have a big place in our
Abandi
hearts.
namwe abari vuye Sydney n'ahandi aba ni abantu beza cyane.
And others from
If you're building a
Sydney
memorial, please call them.
and other places, if you're
They're
building a
very
memorial,
good people,
we recommend them highly.
And,
They've been great help to us.
isn't it? Murakoze cyane.
Thank you.
Imana ibahe umugisha.
May God bless you.
Mwisubirire mu
You
myanya
may
yanyu.
take your seats back.
On behalf of the community,
Ku ruhande tuvugiye community,
turagira ngo duhamagare Denise n'umufasha we
we would like to welcome Denise and her spouse
baze
to come
bunamire
as they remember
kandi bashyire n'ururabyo ku rwibutso.
An
Aba ngaba
honor.
bahagarariye community yose.
They also represent the entire community as they lay this bouquet on the memorial.
Abandi namwe mwazanye indabyo zanyu mu kanya muragira opportunity.
And others who have bought some bouquets here at this remembrance, you will be given an opportunity.
Ariko ndagira ngo nsabe abantu bari mu mirimo bagiye kuri hall aho turi bwibukire
But we'll ask people who are going to the hall where we're meeting
batambuke
next
bihuta
to come quickly
baze bashyire indabyo ku rwibutso.
to lay their flowers on the memorial.
Baze
They will come
uzi ko
forward.
ahafite akazi hariya ruguru wese
There are people who are about to leave to go to the next venue. We're going to welcome them forward first
nimuze mubanguke.
to come forward quickly.
In no particular order. Do you finish?
Ko murajya musoza,
Are you welcome to go to the hall for getting things organized?
murakomeza mutubanziriza kuri sale yindi tugiye guhuriraho.
Nyuma y'aba ngaba rero
And after these people,
ndagira ngo mbwire abashyitsi bacu
I'll ask our guests.
ku muhango wacu urangiye wa hano.
This first session is ending here.
Turagira ngo musohoka abashyitsi bacu
In particular, our guests, as you leave this place,
hari booklet
there's a booklet that has been prepared.
which has information
Ifitemo amakuru yose wakenera
about genocide
guha ubumenyi ku bijyanye na
and
jenoside
about
yakorewe
how
abatutsi,
the Rwandan community in West Australia
kandi iguha n'amakuru y'uburyo community y'abanyarwanda iri hano muri Western Australia
is looking after their mental health.
uburyo bari kureba abakurikirana abantu bagira ihungabana.
As you walk away, grab the booklet
Musohoka turabasaba ko buri muntu yagira iyi booklet yitwaza.
and then tuze guhurira hariya kuri sale
We'll meet again at the other venue
aho umuhango wo kwibuka uri bukomereze.
where this memorial commemoration will be continued.
Turabibutsa ko turi butangire isaa 7:15.
We'll ask that we do commence on time at 1:30 p.m.
Turava aha ngaha duhita tujya mu mamodoka yacu.
As we leave this place, please do leave safely in your cars.
Dukomeze tujye aho turi bwibukire.
We'll go together at the next venue where we'll commemorate.
Murabizi biranditse kuri invitation mufite
You will have the details on the invitation
on John Street.
on John Street.
Is it Adriatic Center?
We'll bring up the exact address for you. Yeah.
Iri kuri Stirling Adriatic Center,
Stirling Adriatic Center,
78 John Street.
78 John Street.
ni nk'iminota 5 uvuye hano.
It's about a 5-minute drive from here.
Murakoze rero.
We thank you.
Mwakoze kwifatanya natwe.
Thank you for joining us and standing with us.
Kuza mu kwibuka aho ngaho kuri Stirling Center.
For those not able to join us at the next venue where we're commemorating the genocide against the Tutsi, we do thank you so much for joining us here today in this session this morning. We thank you. You've chosen well.
Kandi kwifatanya natwe.
And standing in solidarity with us
biradufasha cyane mu rugendo rwacu rwo gukira ibikomere.
Is of great support in our journey of healing. Of the traumas. Thank you.
See you at 1:30.
Turababona saa 7 n'igice ku yindi venue duhuriraho.
Murakoze cyane.
Thank you.
And other community members,
n'abandi
if we have flowers, please come.
Baje muri community bazanye indabyo.
As we walk to the hall.
Mwazizana mukazigeza aha ngaha ku Rwibutso tunakomeza tujya kuri venue ya kabiri. Murakoze.
Our distinguished guests want to have a picture. You're welcome to join them for the memorable picture.
Urwibutso abashyitsi bacu bakuru bagiye kwifotoreza aha ngaha. Turabakira.
Councillors, you're more welcome to join them.
Mwajya muri iyi foto.
If they finish, if you want to have a photo, wait, and then you will have a photo taken after.
Wifuza kwifotoza yaza kwifata nyuma y'aba bayobozi n'abashyitsi.
If you want to have a photo, please stand behind them.
Ushaka kwifotoranya n'abayobozi n'abashyitsi bacu bakuru.
Abantu bose bumva bashaka gufata ifoto muze muhagarare inyuma y'urwibutso.
Stand behind the memorial.
Christopher Ngwino.
Christopher.
Na mushiki wawe muze babafotore muzane n'abana. Ruhande rw'ibumoso hakeneye abantu.
People on the left hand side, you can join that side as well. Abana mwazana imbere namwe. Abana bato. If possible, leave the memorial in the middle so that it's also showing for the picture.
All right, are we good?
Turagira ngo mu gitondo ko turi buze gukererwa kuri venue ikurikiyeho.
Turasaba ambassador kwegera imbere gato. Nimba bishoboka ambassador, if you can just step forward for the photo. Yes, next, Honorable Meredith, you may fill in there. Thank you. Can you kindly pick your phone that's on the floor, please, Brother Jeff?
Thank you, thank you. That's all.
Murakoze cyane.
Let's all of us join.
Murakoze.
We'll go to the hall.